Hi, this is G from Native Speakers Academy, and welcome to another edition of 10-Minute English. This is where we introduce short educational articles in English from the news or from around the internet for upper intermediate and advanced level students. That is B2 and C1 in the Common European Framework. Now, on the screen in front of you, you should be able to see the article that we are going to look at today. Sex lessons for pupils aged 5 under labor. What are they planning for our children? On the left side of the page, you should be able to see our home site, which is www.nsa-slovakia.com. Feel free to visit our homepage and peruse, scan, search through the articles for some useful information about education. Just yesterday we added a new research topic, which is an introduction to Austrian economic theory. If you don't know much about economics, then it's a nice short little article which introduces some ideas, and there are, of course, as usual, additional links, background information and graphics to go with it. Also, if you haven't explored our YouTube page, please take a look through it. 2 new presentations have been posted very recently. We have John Taylor Gatto's talk about the history of American education, and we have a small presentation that I did earlier today on why should I homeschool, about reasons why parents might be interested in exploring home education. You can also find us on Pinterest under my name. There are 13 boards stocked full of information and infographics, or you can explore the graphics individually. Here's one that I posted earlier which I found really interesting: the ultimate cheat sheet for reinventing yourself, which gives us ideas about how to improve the quality of our personal lives. Anyway, why are we here? We're here to have a look at an article, and the article is 6 lessons for pupils aged 5 under labor. As usual, I have highlighted the key vocabulary, and you can pause the video and check it before we look through the article, or you can guess from the context and check your understanding after. As usual, if you are working with the vocabulary, I recommend typing into Google define followed by the word that you are interested in. So here's one that I did earlier. Education. The process of receiving or giving systematic instruction, especially at a school or university, in modern English. An enlightening experience. The etymology is education, from educate, educatio, educare, and if we go to the online dictionary of etymology, we find education in its etymological base is child rearing. Ooh, rearing. That's kind of animalistic. The training of animals. Well, there we go. But the origin itself of education is the verb, or is the root educator, educate. If we look at educate, we've got bring up children, or to train, as in animals. But I think one of the key understandings is bring out, to draw out the innate abilities of the student, not to inform, but to do the opposite. See also Duke. So there we go. There's some background information. Now, the origin of the article is the Mail Online. Try not to look at the pictures. Here it is. A link to it will be posted together with this video online, but what I've done is tried to simplify it. I've reproduced it here on the right side of the page. So, sex lessons for pupils aged 5 under labour. If you are sitting comfortably, then we shall begin. Party plans to introduce subjects to primary school curriculum in bid to tackle homophobic bullying. So to tackle homophobia, we need more sex in primary schools. Okay, I'm sure that there's some bizarre logic there somewhere. Notice that they call them political parties. Why? Because they're always drunk. That's why. Written by Jason Groves, Deputy Political Editor of the Daily Mail. Shall we begin? Children aged 5 will have sex education classes if Labour wins the election. Yay, vote Labour. Tristram Hunt said yesterday the subject would go on the primary school curriculum to tackle homophobic bullying. The lessons are currently given only to children of secondary school age, but obviously that's not enough for them. Labour sources said Mr. Hunt, who is the party's education spokesman, Hunt is in charge of education, okay, wanted age-appropriate, whatever that means, that's sort of a non-term, teaching about sex and relationships to begin in Key Stage 1, yay, when pupils are aged 5 to 7. They claimed the move would also help tackle the problems of domestic violence and rape. Sex education is going to help us with domestic violence, okay, and rape later in life. But campaigners warned against sacrificing childhood innocence. Yes, sacrificing, good word to use. Sacrificing childhood innocence for the sake of political correctness. Political correctness is the largest nonsense that you could ever imagine, put into complex vocabulary and presented to the public to confuse them. Remember to be PC, political correctness. Margaret Morrissey of Parents Out Loud said, "We need to let children be children, particularly at Key Stage 1, when many are still not very mature, really, and may find this kind of material confusing and quite scary." Some adults find this quite scary. Are we really saying that at the age of 5, children have to put their childhood behind them and learn about all the things adults have to deal with? Yes, forget about economics, mathematics, the environment. Let's just focus on the SEX. That is not what parents want. I understand that politicians are looking for eye-catching ideas. What? Why is sex an eye-catching idea? Sex for children an eye-catching idea? To win the election. But because it's all about winning, of course. It's not about helping people. But I would say to them, please don't sacrifice our children's innocence. Simon Calvert of Christian Concern said the explicit material already used in schools would shock many parents. He added, we are all concerned about the sexualization of young people, particularly with the influence of the internet and social media. Yeah, that's obviously why all magazine shops are full of those kinds of magazines anyway. But Labour, as if children can't see what's on the top shelf, but Labour have landed on the wrong solution. Like a board game, isn't it? Right. For 3 decades, the cry has been that we must have more sex education. Really? Not from me. Of a more explicit nature, and at an ever younger age. And look where it has got us. We should end the defeatism that says children will inevitably be exposed to pornography and engage in sexual activity, and therefore have to be equipped to deal with it. I mean, children will inevitably be exposed to cups of coffee and football matches, but does that mean we have to expose them to things? It is a counsel of despair. Nice phrase, nice phrase. So, parents are able to withdraw children from sex education lessons apart from those that are part of the core science curriculum. So they can't withdraw them, really, because there's a big exception there. Primary schools are required to have a policy on the subject, and most do provide lessons in the later years, but under Labour's plans, all state-funded schools would be required to provide sex and relationships classes. Yay! Because it's really the same thing. Yeah, are you my friend? Academies and free schools would lose their right to opt out. So, it's being forced. Tory MP Philip Davis said Labour's plans were completely unacceptable. It's taking childhood away from kids. My kids are 11 and 9, and I don't like the idea of them having sex education, let alone at age 5. It's completely unnecessary at that age. At primary school, sex education should be the preserve of parents, not teachers, and it certainly shouldn't be compulsory. Logic from a politician. He must be desperate. The Labour move came as inspectors from schools watchdog Ofsted face criticism for quizzing pupils about their knowledge of sexuality and the words they use. How do you quiz somebody about their knowledge of the words they use? Excuse me, these words, do you know? These words you're using, do you know what they mean? People are paid to do this. It's infuriating. Inspectors have been internally briefed that they can quiz pupils aged 4 to 11 about the word gay and same-sex families. It emerged this week. What are they doing? They have been told to ask young children if classmates are ever picked on for not behaving like a typical girl or a typical boy. Oh my God. Conform to the norm, or that's it. And since 2013, Ofsted briefings have also urged inspectors to tackle transphobic bullying. What is going on? By asking primary children if they think someone born a girl who would rather be a boy, or born a boy who would rather be a girl, would feel safe at their school. What? Oh dear, we're over the cliff and halfway down already. Run, run, run away. À toute vitesse. Thoughts and notes. Here are my thoughts and notes. Feel free to agree, disagree. The education is they're not really focusing on love, relationships, behavior, respect. It's sex. Time flows where attention goes, don't you know? I.e., if you remember the campaigns, don't do drugs, just say no, they didn't work because they just got you thinking more about the topic. Politicians have run out of ideas, obviously, because sex is what you do when you can't think of anything else to do. What do you get if you remove the word education from the phrase sex education? Not a difficult one. Isn't this topic a personal choice? After this, then what? Then where? Yeah, how can we go further down from here? Oh, I know how we can go further down from here. Wait a second, let me show you something. Yes, this was it. Article: Men and women competing to be porn stars in new reality show The Sex Factor. Yep, it's all real. It's all real, I know. It's, oops, sorry about that. Oh dear. That's where it's going. Straight down the rabbit hole. And you know where that comes from, right? You know who wrote Alice in Wonderland, and you know what he was. Maybe you should check it out. It's a slow creeping death to any real education training kids to be like rabbits. Further notes, well, you can read through any links that I post as well. You might be interested in educational history to have a look at Bertrand Russell's school. In fact, if you go to our search box at the top of the page on our web page and type in, oh, there we go, Bertrand Russell, that will hopefully take you to a link. There we go, Bertrand Russell and the Beacon Hill School, and you can read a little bit about the man, his school and his experiments. Yes, he was experimenting on children in a very unique environment. Well, what did you think about this story? Feel free to contact us and let us know your opinion. Leave a comment on the video or link to us through LinkedIn, Google+, Facebook, Pinterest, all of those great places. As usual, links to the article will be posted with the video, and feedback is always appreciated. If you are super interested, then we also offer free HD Skype consultations for students, teachers and companies through Native Speakers Academy. If you are not sure which exam to take or how to prepare for it, then we can help you. If you need advice about teaching grammar or practical tips for the classroom, we can help you. And if you want to know maybe how to increase your firm's attractiveness through the skills of using language, then maybe we can help you with that as well. As usual, I wish you a great day wherever you are. Thank you very much for paying attention, and another short video will be posted very soon. Take care.